Pokémon, you gotta catch 'em all. Or more like you have to buy all their games because they come out with so many of them. Sheesh, being a Pokemon fan drains your bank account. But I'm finally doing a mainline series game. This time we got Pokémon Brilliant Diamond for the Nintendo Switch. As someone who has only played through the Gen 4 Pokemon games once, this will be a fairly original and authentic experience of playing through the game without much bias or nostalgia. Bias or nostalgia for the series, though, it's a little bit different. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so just keep that in mind when I talk about the game. And one more thing I need to say is I don't really like remakes or reboots or reimagining type of things in games or movies. There's just too many similarities and too many differences between the two that it just rubs people the wrong way. If it's too similar, people get mad. If it's too different, people get mad. But back to the actual game, it's certainly a Pokemon game with traditional Pokemon RPG mechanics, but from a stylistic standpoint, I actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. The chibi art style doesn't really bother me that much, and the Gen 4-esque menus are a great callback to the original games. And you know, a lot of people were complaining about the graphics and how they weren't super 4K ultra high def amazing graphics, and I just don't understand people's fascination with ultra realistic graphics. You don't need it in every single game. Like, calm down. One thing that they did a really good job on, deviating from the original, is the speed of the game. Now, Pokemon doesn't have to be the absolute fastest game ever. I mean, if I wanted to be super fast, I could turn off the move animations, but I like those. But the original Gen 4 games were just so slow in the battles. It was slow going through the menus. It was slow traversing the land. It just took an unnecessary amount of time to do anything in those games. Which that could have been because they were working with new hardware at the time because they hadn't done a DS game, but not really a great excuse for a company as established as the Pokemon Company. Another positive about any Pokemon game or reboot is that it's able to use newer moves and have newer types assigned to older Pokemon, which makes them more viable in the playthrough and they have more options. And that's always what makes the Pokemon games replayable. You can use different Pokemon each time you play through, and it can feel relatively fresh because of the Pokemon that you use. So it's nice that that's being applied to the Gen 4 games. I also have mixed feelings about the Grand Underground. It's an interesting mechanic unique to the Sinnoh region, and that was something I never experienced playing the original game, so it was refreshing to do something new in a Pokemon game, and the use of overworld Pokemon similar to the newer Switch games was a nice touch, but I don't necessarily like that the map clearly shows you the entire underground, even though it hasn't been explored. I know you have to walk through all those parts for it to not be grayed out, but it just shouldn't give me the entire structure of where the rooms are at. Like, let me explore it a little bit. Let me travel. And they also tweaked the catch rates in the underground, making catching Pokemon at a higher level in yours a lot harder, which is fine, but at least give the player a hint, like a line of dialogue, so I can figure out on my own that it's harder to catch the higher level Pokemon, because that's different than any other wild encounter. I wasted like 50 Pokeballs in a couple hours trying to catch certain Pokemon in the underground when I would have just skipped doing that because it was so much harder. And they also make the beginning part of the game crazy easy. I mean, the EXP share really makes battling and leveling up a piece of cake. And shortly after the first gym, I had to box my starter and my second best Pokemon because they were just too strong for the rest of the Pokemon I faced. So I was rolling with an 8 Pokemon rotation to even everything out. You know how many I had on my main team in Pearl when I played through the first time? 3, because that's all I could really keep leveled up and at a decent level without grinding a ton. So I just had those 3, but now I have 4 to 5 good Pokemon and 2 or 3 slightly lowered leveled Pokemon that would work in a pinch. Which is usually okay. Pokemon games don't have to be super hard like everyone asks for a Pokemon game to be hard. I just don't think that's something that Pokemon has to do. But then, with it being really easy up until a certain point, and then you get to the Pokemon League and they're all super tough, it's just a very steep level curve towards the end of the game, and it's not really something I was prepared for. I think the only other issue I have with the game is that the collision detection with the walls when using the analog sticks is just awful. And what I mean is when you touch the wall, you just get stuck, which it's better to use the directional buttons for moving, and you have to hold the run button to run faster, and then you can even get stuck on stuff. So it can really be a pain to walk through a cave or a small area to pick up an overworld item, and it just turns into a chore, and it just shouldn't be that way. My save file is still a work in progress, even 7 to 8 months after release. I just don't think this game warranted a remake. It didn't really do anything crazy that the original games didn't do. Yeah, it's a Pokemon game, so it has a good core, but it just didn't set itself apart from the 2.5 decades of other Pokemon games, so it doesn't get ranked on my overall list. It'd be cool to review some of the other Pokemon games on this channel, but it's always such a chore to record them because they're usually on handheld devices and it's just a long task to play through the game to get the footage. But I hope you enjoyed this one though. Thanks for watching. Next review coming soon. See you then.